that startup founders are born, or do you think that they're made?
I would say they are made. You need to be at the right place at the right time, at the right position.
What is the role of AI?
Always question what you are doing. Can it be solved via AI? That means you will become all the more efficient. We are only going to use it to our advantage as time goes. Sales is the best form of learning an industry because you will know what your product is, you will know what the competition is offering, you will know what the customers are saying. Just like every stepping milestone in your career, MBA will only be that launch pad for you. Very average folks in our, you could say, class who've done exceptionally well, and folks who are super bright, but they have possibly struggled.
For anyone who's unsure about whether or not to start up, right? Would you still recommend that person to gather an MBA degree up their sleeve just like you did?
It's a matter of choice. I would say that you need to have some work X before you start something on your own because you'll not know how to react to different situations.
Hi, welcome to another episode of IMS's Future You series. My name is Debru Podar, and it's my pleasure to speak to an amazing founder, an IIM Bangalore grad, an AIR 12 rank in the CA, Mr. Anuj Parekh. Welcome, Anuj.
Thanks, Debru, and it's wonderful to come on this show and connect with the future generation.
Fantastic. So, as you know, the IMS's Future You series is meant to guide our amazing MBA aspirants who are looking to understand how to forge their career and what the career of an MBA graduate looks like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line after doing an MBA. We are so pleased to have you in our talk today. Let's start with your journey.
So I would say at the time when we had cleared our CA back in 2013, it was almost like a decade ago. At that point in time, the only next thing that we all wanted to do was get hands-on exposure to work, working in the best of corporate roles, seeing what does it really mean to earn your first real salary. Until then, it was all stipends. So it definitely was more around, you could say, trying to maximize the exposure. But at a later stage, when we realized that, okay, once you get into a company, and once you get into a set function or role, you tend to get limited into that roles and responsibilities that you are assigned to. Because in your regular life, you are studying subject 1 to subject 6. So you have variety. But when you are into a corporate role, you don't get that variety. It is like you are just focused on one particular role. And वो अंदर से थोड़ी चुल थी कि I wanted to explore different avenues to my work. So I thought that maybe I would want to step into the business side of things. Sure. And that is when the first real thought came to my mind of preparing for my MBA exams. It was such that we felt that at that point in time, the opportunities were not as vastly available as what it is today. So I thought that MBA would be that right you could say decision to help me at least validate my career before my interviewers that look, I'm genuinely wanting to explore the business side of things, and it's not just like I want to stick to the core domain of a CA role. So that is where that first encounter with you could say MBA prep started. And I now recall one incident that I thought that let me first do a sense check. वो जो होता है litmus test आप करते हो कि where do you stand? So I appeared in 2013 itself, where I appeared, or rather 2014, where I appeared for my CAT exam without any preps, without studying anything, without even knowing the exam pattern. I just went there blindly, enrolled myself, and I got a very dismal score. I'm happy to share it was 23 percentile.
Wow.
And that was my first revelation that, okay, this is where I stand today and how much do I need to do to be able to crack an admit within Ivy school. So I then decided that maybe this is not possible for me to pursue it alongside my work. And that is where I thought that I'll take a 6 months break and I will prepare for my MBA entrance exams, and I'll give it my best shot. If it happens, then great. If it doesn't happen, then I'll explore other options.
Sure.
So I wanted to go all in.
Yeah.
And that is where I enrolled with IMS, and I, you could say, studied with Hemang sir, Amit sir, studied under their guidance, and we got excellent mentorship from them.
Sure.
And I got a very good score, and I got into IIMB. In fact, the admission process is where I put in more efforts, because I know for a fact that out of 3, only 1 will get selected. So that is where I did a lot of prep with IMS team, where we were, you could say, guided on the PI round. We were guided on the group discussion rounds. And I guess that 1 month of prep between getting that admit call to the admission interview, that 1 month of prep actually helped me open up as a person. I guess for me, that was one, I would say, kind of life-changing moment, because I got to learn a lot of current affairs, a lot of things about myself. Because when you are trying to reflect on your past, that is when you really start unlocking, or you could say discovering things, that what were you in the past and what do you want to become. That is where you start asking those real tough questions. So I guess that was something that I really enjoyed. And then the admission day interview also was slightly patchy. I thought that it didn't go well, but for the interviewers, while they had grilled me, I felt that possibly I may not have given my best response, but they actually liked it. And I got the admit call from IMB. So I'm very, I would say that I'm lucky. I would consider myself lucky that I could sail through all these things, right from that uncertain exam pattern to grilling admission interview. But I was prepared.
Yeah.
So that is something that I want to share with the audience, that if you are prepared, then I guess you should then not go back and say that I was not at my 100%. If you're at your 100%, then naturally, as we say, right, that luck favors the brave, or luck favors those who've done the hard work.
Correct.
So I guess then it's all destiny at end of day. So then from 2015 to 2017 is when I pursued my 2-year curriculum or 2-year courseware at IIMB. And then after 2017, when I passed out, I joined Mahindra Group as part of the in-house incubated venture, which was SmartShift. It was into Uberization of intra-city transportation. And the company eventually got merged into Porter. So I was responsible on driving the company onto path to profitability. And then we also had our merger with Porter. And now Porter is a unicorn. So I'm very proud of the fact that I was part of, you could say, a journey where at the initial stage, we didn't even know what will this eventually become. And now to see Porter all around us, I do feel proud that I had contributed my 2 years towards building that group or empire. And then thereafter, I finally got my, you could say, hands-on to consulting role, where I joined Octus Advisors. It was evolving as an organization where they were picking up very niche infrastructure projects. So all the airport projects, metro projects that we see around us, they are PPP projects, which requires a lot of, you could say, cross team functional work, where we would advise companies onto bidding for these infrastructure projects and how to prepare the right business case, what would be the IRR, what would be the source of funds, what rate they will raise the funds, and how will they execute the projects, tendering out those subcontractor work. So it was a complete package again. So this was something that I really appreciated. So SmartShift was a 1 to 10x experience in terms of scaling, you could say, businesses, versus Hyperloop was a 0 to 1x exposure, where I could understand how to build something grounds up. So I would say that until 21, I had a fair flavor of things around me. 8 years from the time I cleared my CA. So I'm very thankful to the journey that unfolded for me all through. And 21 was when I started our venture, Healthy Shore, which evolved later into BharatSure.
I want to know more about your key takeaways from that MBA program experience at IIM Bangalore. Maybe how you are using some of those takeaways today as a founder. We'd love to know.
I guess one thing that even Amit sir would say in class was what MBA teaches you is all about predicting the future. It's not about, you could say, what you do with the past. Like, I'll be very honest, what CAs typically do is they scrutinize the past. And what MBA teaches us is how to predict the future and build a roadmap to get there. So I guess it was a good combination for me in that sense, where we would learn the different aspects of what a business involves, right from, say, marketing to product to sales, and also the larger, you could say, business case study, that how do you make anything financially viable. So I guess we do get that exposure in parts. And one thing, as I also earlier said, is working in groups. Like, you know that not everyone is best in a particular, you could say, function. So each person will bring value to the table. And how can you deliberate things before you firm up on the idea or plan? So that idea of deliberation is what that course teaches you well. That how do you could say, appreciate the different perspectives that come to you. It's not about, you could say, taking an instinctive decision. I guess this is something that UPSC and IS, you could say, offers to candidates. But MBA is all about appreciating those different perspectives and then deciding as to what works best. And you have the luxury of time because you're building for the future.
Decision making is very, very key when it comes to one of the key takeaways that you would have taken away from there. Any insights from your, or any remembrance from the interview that you took for IIM Bangalore?
One of the takeaways for me was that at end of it, you have to be composed, because no matter that whatever challenges life will throw at you, they are just testing it out in a interview round and grilling you to that point. So if you're composed enough, they'll appreciate that composure. And even if they believe in you, they'll still try to poke you to see how do you react in those situations. So knowledge is available at everyone's disposal today, right? But how do you galvanize everyone in the room to what you believe, but in a composed manner, while you may not even have the authority? Because people on the other side have the authority, you have to convince them what you believe. So how do you do it at a young age? I guess that is some takeaway that I had, which has stayed with me all through.
What was the first pull that got you into the idea of, starting something of your own? Was it all the way back from your college days, even before that? What was it like for you?
So I would say that for me, when I was preparing for my the MBA exams, entrance exams, that was when I was slightly idle as well. And I felt that let me start exploring something. And for a fact that what if that MBA entrance exams didn't go my favor? So I was trying to build a backup there. But I went long into it. And I, like everyone thinks of, I wanted to start a QSR. So basically, everyone thinks कि अगर मैं business करूँगा तो पहले एक cafe या एक restaurant start करूँ. Likewise, I also thought something similar but very unique. So I identified a co-founder who would run the operations while I would say in the scenario clear my MBA entrance and get a call. I got a chef who could uniquely, you could say, build, I would say, the recipe for it and then impart it to the wider team. Then we also zeroed down on a location. It was a 2-month effort actually, because in location is everything when it comes to launching a QSR. So we almost built the foundation of it, and the moment we were to go live, unfortunately things took a U-turn. We did not get the permission from the secretary of the building, so we could not then launch it there. And by the time I could work on the alternate scenarios, I already got an admit call. But at least it was my first encounter with starting something on ground. It did prepare me for something that were to come in future, which is now what I'm running as BharatSure. That how important is it to plan the launch execution?
Yeah.
So that was my first real, you could say, exposure to building a venture. And then when even I was on campus, I was dabbling with some idea into edtech space.
Okay.
Because at that time, edtech was the flavor of the market.
Yeah.
So I was planning something called Classes Done Karo. In fact, something in the very same space that you are doing.
Okay.
But it was like identifying the right coaching centers depending on what you wish to pursue.
Sure.
So I was dabbling with that idea. But at times when you get into the MBA course, then your opportunity costs far outweigh what you are building. So then I thought that let me take a pause.
Yeah.
I'll work around for 2 years, 4 years. But the idea was always there that I want to start something on my own.
Wonderful.
Then I dabbled with the idea of something into wine manufacturing.
Wonderful.
So when I was leaving my role at Mahindra's, I actually applied for a sales manager position at Diageo, because I thought that sales is something that I learned at MBA, that sales is the best form of learning an industry, because you will know what your product is, you will know what the competition is offering, you will know what the customers are saying.
Right.
So if anyone is building something, I guess sales is something that should be respected as a career. I would always look up to sales. And even when I was at my college, I was leading sponsorship vertical, where it's virtually sales only. You are selling your fest.
Yeah.
And you are expecting sponsorship in return. So I felt that this is something that I would want to pursue. But again, I couldn't get through because they were also confused that how come a CN MBA is looking for a sales manager position. But I did not rest that thought until I decided that it is going to be very challenging to get those licenses. Then when I was working in my role at Octis, that is where I started, you could say, dabbling with the idea of building something into healthcare. So are you seeing that the kind of industries that I was exploring are all diverse?
Yeah.
Until I found that, okay, this is something that I would want to finally do something in. And then while studying the healthcare sector, I stumbled upon insurance.
Fantastic. Your experiences clearly indicate that you had the drive to build something of your own. But what was that main insight that led to the creation of your first enterprise, which is HealthySure? If you can walk us through that.
So at the time when COVID happened, we realized as a nation how underinsured or uninsured are we. Everyone talks of insurance, but nobody, you could say, considers that decision a priority. So people think कि होता है चलता है देख लेंगे, but eventually they realize the value of it or importance of it only if some incident were to trigger. And people like you and me will still value that subject well, but people in tier 2, tier 3, or people who are in middle income groups, low middle income groups, they still defer this decision. There is trust deficit because people have been, you could say, had poor experiences in the past where there has been a mis-selling by an agent. Second, people only hear the negative side of the insurance industry, ki claims pass nahi hote. But what if I tell you that in group insurance, the area where we work in, there is 95% claim settlement, and only 5% claims get rejected. That too for the reason due to incomplete document submission or misrepresented claims. And India as a country, we do need to acknowledge that people will try to abuse. So insurance is not a, you could say, a industry which will do charity. If the claims are genuine, no insurance company would want to reject the claim. So as far as things are genuine, everyone wants to settle it as smooth as possible, as quick as possible. Whatever friction is there in the journey is only for the limited purpose of identifying those misrepresented claims. Imagine if all claims were to get settled, then the cost of insurance would rise, correct? So there has to be a balance of it. So when we started in 2021, we had a, you could say, first-hand exposure to how you could say broken this coverage is for the masses. That I would say 60% of the population does not hold any insurance coverage, despite Ayushman Bharat. Only 40% are covered. We are talking of the missing middle who still doesn't have any form of insurance. People don't invest their time to buy an insurance, and even personal insurance has certain limitations. There's age restrictions, BMI restrictions, there's waiting periods. If you have medical condition, then at times it may even get rejected. Versus group insurance is completely inclusive. There is no age restriction, there's no medical screening, and there's no paperwork. And it's very simple. All that you need to do is, we just need basic details of name, gender, date of birth, and an institution buying for their members. It could be a company buying for their employees, an association buying for its members, or say an app buying for its users. Even on a voluntary basis, it can be done in the last format. So we felt that globally, the penetration of any developed country is achieved through group insurance. Then in India, why hasn't it happened? Because majority of workforce is in SMEs. So nobody's reaching out to those SMEs to offer insurance. The problem was on the supply side, not on the demand side. So this is that insight we had, and with which we ventured into building a venture to make insurance affordable and accessible. Affordable as group insurance and accessible by way of digitization.
Very good. You mentioned about the role of MBA, right? Oftentimes I've heard people say that, okay, I'll give myself a time of 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll have a plan B to fall onto. Did you have any such timeline in your mind when you were starting up, that this is the threshold limit after which if things don't pan out, then I'll fall back to a normal trajectory?
So I never thought that way. In fact, I've always believed that who could be the next set of investors or set of clients who could support us and back us. So I've never looked back in terms of timeline, or this is how much time that I'll give myself. In fact, I believe that it's my fiduciary duty also that I do justice to all the capital that we've raised, and we continue to grow. But at the time when I was in my moonlighting phase, that was the time where I decided that whether this is something that I'll go all in or whether I will explore something else. So the moment where I started getting that confidence, that is when I went all in. So for me, it was that first 180 days that I had to decide whether I move into a formal setup without raising any capital. I had invested my own baseline capital. In fact, I was profitable in those first 6 months.
Got it. So the first 180 days is what you took to analyze whether to pivot completely or
whether
not.
to go all in,
all in,
or whether to go back to the normal trajectory.
So as you know, we have a lot of B school aspirants. Oftentimes we ask them to prepare answers, for the famous question of why MBA, right? And many of the times they would respond saying that, okay, we want to build something of our own, or we want to join our family business, something to do with building and taking things up to scale. What advice would you offer to such a young B school aspirant, who's looking to build something of their own, maybe unsure like you were at one point of time? What advice would you offer to them?
So for people who are genuinely serious about building their venture, a product shipped out on day one, it is an iterative process. You need to definitely experiment, explore. Customer insight should be so simple enough that this is the core product that I want to ship out. Then you layer it up with your marketing, with your communication, with your branding.
Correct.
And then you scale it up with forming a team. But until you don't know your core customer insight and the problem that you are solving for, then I guess you need to do that homework before you start something. So yeah, I would say that it's a patient journey. It's as good as planting a sapling and then nurturing it, watering it, watch it till it grows into a tree. The foundations of it has to be strong. You can't plant a tree on day one.
Very well said. That startup founders are born, or do you think that they're made?
I would say they are made. I truly believe in it. It is, you could say, a combination of the circumstances and also a combination of the desire and the drive. So, but yes, I feel that they are made because it is circumstantial. You need to be at the right place at the right time, at the right position. So maybe to an extent it is destiny, but yes, you also need to take that first step when opportunities knock your door.
For anyone who's unsure about whether or not to start up, right? Would you still recommend that person to gather an MBA degree up their sleeve just like you did, maybe as a great backup option? Or would you tell them to go all in and not worry about the MBA?
So I believe that again, it's a matter of choice. Imagine that I would say that you need to have some work ex before you start something on your own, because you'll not know how to react to different situations. So getting that work exposure is important, and how you get that work exposure is a function of, say, what roles and responsibilities or opportunities are you able to crack today. I see a lot of folks who join our company in the founders office team, and we do give that exposure. They are typically folks who are preparing for their MBA exams or have secured an admit and have deferred it by 1 or 2 years. And they want to get that flavor of how does it feel to operate as, you could say, as an extended arm of the CEO's office.
I believe you're also hiring some MBA grads.
We do keep hiring every, you could say, 3 months for different stints. But our idea is to hire for longer duration of at least 6 months, so that we can do justice in terms of, you could say, giving that exposure. But having that exposure is important, is what I was, you could say, alluding to. And with that MBA, you could say, qualification, one thing is that you not just get the safety net, but also you end up making a lot of connections, which will help you when you are building out on your own. So it is always said that your network is your net worth. So if you have good connections with people in the community, it only, it is, you could say, the combined forces that help you grow and evolve. So it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to raise an entrepreneur.
Fantastic. So well said. In today's world, we see a lot of changes definitely happening, right? You mentioned about you dabbling in different areas, but I see a commonality to that, which is around tech. Whether it's been logistics and transportation or health or insurance, you've always looked at tech. Now, tech today is very different than what it was when you were starting out. What is the role of AI that you envision will change not just the insurance sector, but even for any MBA graduate who's looking to, pursue their MBA from a top B school, but there is this influence of AI from all around? Yes. What advice or what piece of takeaway do you have to offer for us?
So internally also within our teams, we have inculcated the habit of AI first. Because always question what you are doing. Can it be solved via AI? That means you will become all the more efficient. And the AI tools are also evolving. So maybe you will not get the best results, but it is also a function of how you give those prompts. So understanding the right prompts to be made. In fact, you can question the AI tools to only build up the right prompt and then take it to another AI tool to ship out, you could say, a product screen or a prototype. So we have internally done this. In fact, our tech team also does a lot of coding via AI. We've been very lean in our approach. So I would say that it is becoming only more easier for founders to start businesses with the support of AI. You can actually, the same founder can become 10x in their bandwidth, assuming different roles and functions with the help of AI. And if you inculcate your team also to adopt it, then I guess you can design a profitable business possibly from day one, except for marketing costs. How do you manage it? That's a question to ask. But otherwise, I guess building new ventures today onwards is going to be simpler and more affordable.
Looking like next for BharatSure as an organization, what are you looking most forward to building your enterprise even further?
So I would say that as of today, we've covered 2 lakh lives in our journey, and I guess it's you could say a long time away till we at least capture 10% of the market. Our vision is that we at least secure 5 crore Indians with the help of our partners in next 5 years. So we want to be a dominant player in this space, and we are confident that we will become one in near future.
Fantastic. And uh, regarding MBA or startups, is there any kind of myth or false notion that you'd like to bust for anyone who's watching this?
So I would say at least first to start with startups, one myth that I'd want to bust is that you will only see the fancy stories in the media, but you will not see what is the groundwork that has undergone. Possibly with this podcast, we'll be able to share some stories around what is the struggle and what is the thought process that goes into building something that you see from outside. So that's only tip of the iceberg. The real work starts well before, and there are challenges around. Second is, I would say, in terms of a compromise on your social life. So, as an entrepreneur, you will have to make a few sacrifices. You cannot be present everywhere. So, you may have to take those conscious calls on your social life to start with, and hopefully, once things get better, you will settle in. Third, I would say, at least for on the side of MBA, I would say that just like every stepping milestone in your career, MBA will only be that launch pad for you. What you do with that launch pad is completely onto you. I've seen very average folks in our, you could say, class during IMB days who've done exceptionally well after they have passed out from the college, and folks who were super bright, but they have possibly struggled in their journey. They did not make the most of the opportunities they got their way. So they were kind of in their comfort zones, I would say. So don't get into that comfort zone or shell. Keep challenging yourself every day. And I guess then you need to be the best at what you do.
Wonderful. I think my major takeaway after talking to you is the wonderful, calm, yet purposeful attitude that you bring to the table, which is really striking out for me. If you had to speak to your 23-year-old self today and offer some piece of advice, then what would you say to him?
So I would only say that keep hustling, and there are always better things in store for you. So let the larger force decide for it, but at least you put in the right intent at everything that you are doing.
Fantastic. I think I'd like to summarize this entire talk by saying fortune favors the brave. You need to be showing courage. You need to be taking those hustling and important decisions, and then luck will take care of you eventually as well. There's something that will work in your favor if you put in that hard work, if you put in that grit. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Anuj. It's been a pleasure. I have learned so much about the insurance world, about the entrepreneurial spirit, and it's been a pleasure to have you on our podcast. For everyone who's watching this, it's such a great feeling to speak to someone who's built something from scratch, gone through the ropes of a career with MBA, post MBA, and now is doing meaningful work, contributing to the society, contributing to the communities of India, helping those who want to get insured, helping those really in need. That's the kind of impact that you can bring to the table yourselves by empowering your career with an MBA and then starting and building something of your own with meaning, with purpose. Thank you once again for tuning in. This is the IMS's Future You series, where we talk about what lies ahead in people's careers post doing their MBA 5, 7, 10, 15 years down the line. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you soon.